Well, you join me here at Katlov Lakes in the Czech Republic. It's the first time I've ever been to the Czech Republic, fishing or otherwise. It's about an hour away from Prague and give or take 10-11 hours drive from Calais. It's October 2023. I'm in swim 13, which is basically the middle zone of the lake. And basically the aim of this trip is to try and catch my first ever fish from the lake and my first ever Czech Republic carp. I'll try and keep it short and sweet because I can waffle. So let's see how I get on, eh? So it's Tuesday mid-morning. I've had a nice ripper on the middle rod, which was cast 80 yards to the left-hand edge of the island. Probably about halfway. I think it's about 150, 160 yards out to the island. I found like a bit of a transition out there, sort of silt to gravel, and I'd seen a few fish showing out around that sort of range and a little bit further. So I thought, you just watch and see what the fish tell you, basically. So I arrived on the Sunday and see a few shows to my left, not that far out, 50-60 yards. So I obviously put a rod straight on that and then put a few spoms of particles, boilers and pellets over that one, and then did the same on the middle and left. I think to start with, both the middle and left were at 80 yard range, but I moved the right hand rod to 100 yards a couple of days into the session. And I lost two on the Sunday, one to a hook pull, and then on the left hand rod it just came off halfway through the fight. An hour later I had another take on the middle rod, and I played that for quite some time into the margin, probably got to about 20 yards, just seemed quite a conventional fight, and then it just sort of went a bit odd, a bit strange, wasn't quite connected to it, and eventually wound in a branch and a load of line and a rig and a hook and that, and I don't know if I hooked a fish and then caught that, or a trailer had caught my rig. I'm not really sure. It felt like a normal fight, but so I lost those two. And then eventually had a third take on the Sunday evening on the left-hand rod. So that was the second on that, and that was a 31 common. So obviously absolutely over the moon to have my first fish from the lake, and knew that I wouldn't be on for a blank. So yeah, and then Monday I had a nightmare with my car. Basically I broke down as I arrived and the car wouldn't start again. And obviously trying to sort out getting towed to the garage, etc. So I didn't end up fishing Monday at all, lost the whole day. Got my rods out on dark, and yeah, so this is the second fish that I've managed to scoop up into the net, as it were. And happy days, a nice 26-pound common on the, I say test bait, but it's going to be released next spring. Yeah, happy days. So as you can see here, I've messed up the audio. So this was the second fish that I caught, 26-pound, caught on a double 15mm bottom bait wafter, fishing 80 yards out to the left-hand side of the margin that I'd been spomming a couple of times a day with bait. This was on the Tuesday morning. So as you can tell, yeah, I'm over the moon. So I decided to basically cast my rods and obviously found some spots and clipped them up and wrapped them up, and then was spomming to them. I had one at around 16 wraps, one at 21 and one at 25 wraps, and I would sort of cast out 3 or 4 mini spoms 3 or 4 times a day basically on each rod, just kept the bait going in. I did start off with particles, boilies and pellets, but switched to boilies and pellets only towards the latter end of the session, as most people on there were using boats or bait boats to place their rigs and bait up and so on. So I was catching a number of bream on the close-in 16 wrap spot, which was using a lot of particles. So that's the reason really why I stopped using it in the end. Thankfully the weather was quite favourable all week, so I didn't really have any problems with baiting up and that. I sort of had a couple would land on the spot and 1 or 2 would land left and right, sort of perfect, just how I liked it. Well, it's taken me a couple of days, but finally I had my third of the trip. Another common. Let's turn it around, I think. Nice on this side. Very typical Katlov common. I think it must be about 80% commons, something like that. But yeah, it's been a couple of days. I've been having trials and tribulations with my car and whatever, which one put me with, but finally, and I've had to try and work it out because the anglers next door have been catching. Not many other people on the lake have, but so I know fish are feeding, and I just need to sort it out. And it might be just plain and simple distance. I needed to go further. We'll see. It's only a third fish, so. Come on, fish. Let's hold you up for the camera. Come on. Doesn't want to, does she? Come on. There you go. Just shy of 30 pounds. And my third Katlov carp. Been working for this. I'm really happy, and I'm just hoping conditions are changing tomorrow and Saturday, so maybe a sign of better things to come. But yeah, no, I'm made up with that. Just a 15mm test bait with 12mm pineapple pop-up, about 6-7 spoms of test bait and pellet. That's it. I've sort of changed tactics. I've been using particles and that, and the guys who've been catching next door just using pellet and boilies. So if that's the going thing, then I thought I'd try it. I moved a rod, like I say, and I've put this rod out about 2 hours ago, something like that. So it seems to be working. Let's see how it goes, eh? 2 more days. Yes. Oh wow. Well, I've gone and done it. Gone and hit me my target. I can't believe it. I'm absolutely, yes, buzzing with this one. It's Friday, 3 o'clock in the morning, coming towards the tail end of the trip, and as you can hear, I've got a nice fish on the mat here, so let's see if I can hoist her up. Oh, lovely, lovely common. And I knew as soon as I was playing it that I was into something slightly better. This is the 5th fish I've landed out of 7 bites. So, oh, nearly slapped me in the face then. Thank you, dear. Oh, no, not quite ready. Not quite ready. And it come to a sort of a snowman, really, of a double bait. It was a 15mm test bait, bottom bait, and a 15mm wafter, one of the Ian Russell's new Indian spice wafters. So, over scattering of boilies and pellets, just shy of 45 pounds, Katlov and Czech Republic carp. That is my 10th country that I've caught a 20 kilo carp. Just amazing. Even us 9-to-5ers can go and do it. What a creature. Yes. Is that a stunning, stunning common, hey? Oh, yes. Luckily didn't do too much like the smaller 20s, going all over the place trying to find me other lines and neighbours' lines. This one just slowly was dogged, thumping around, staying on the bottom. And thankfully came over that net cord on the first ask. Yes. I am one happy chappy. Thank you, my dear. And with that, let's get her back. Come on, let me come for the camera. You see that? Nice chunky mid-30 flippy Katlov common. Yeah. Could do with is her grandma or mirror brother. That would be nice. I'm guessing it must be about 80% commons. I don't know, maybe more. I've had 7. No mirrors yet. No. I know it's not 100% commons. I have seen pictures of mirrors. We'll try to get her up, but if not, we'll just slip her back. But there we go. And that's our other side. Yes. Happy days, eh? Okay, so it's that time of the session that I just thought I'd cover my bait tactics. So this is what I've been calling a test bait, but basically it's going to be released soon from Dynamite. I've got this in 15 and 18. Really like this bait. Obviously can't say too much about it right now, but it should be I believe released in 2024. And yeah, I really quite like this bait. So yeah, that's the boilies basically, and as I say, that's a sneak peek onto the boilies been using. I have also got my ever reliable mixed particles with me. I've got 7 jars of that, a jar for each day. But I'll be honest, I've actually found that you're getting too much nuisance fish with the particles, too many roach and bream and tench, so I've actually stopped using that. I've been using it on one rod, the other 2 rods I stopped halfway through this trip, and I'm just using pellets and boilies now on 2 rods, and that seems to be doing the business on the carp front, definitely the bigger ones. The pellets, obviously got my usual 9mm coppins, which obviously complement this range of boilie well. And then obviously you're always going to have different various pop-ups and hook baits and stuff like that. So got your pineapple and banana wafters, yellow. I've had, I think, 4 fish on those. I did also have my squid and octopus wafters, but I don't think I've caught anything on those, and I've stopped using them, to be honest, in the last few days. And then I've also got a couple of, again, just been released. I've got the Ian Russell Super Stench wafters, 15mm, and the Indian Spice wafters in 15mm. I've also got the pop-ups as well, but thought I'd show those. And then I've obviously got the sprays that go with it, Indian Spice spray and the Super Stench, and the Indian Spice one, that's done me the 3 biggest fish of the trip so far. So yeah, just thought I'd cover the bait. That's the bait for the trip. So it's Saturday afternoon, and obviously I've had a good take on the right hand rod, which was fished 100 yards to the right of the island, as you see on the left hand side of the footage. And as I've said before, spomming it a couple of times a day, 3 or 4 spoms, just keeping the bait going. And this, I was fishing as I said, bought a 15mm test bait bottom bait and a 15mm Indian Spice wafter, one of the new Ian Russell, part of the new Ian Russell range. And basically, I've edited this footage, this fight, because this was the longest fight I had the whole trip. It was 13 minutes end to end. So obviously I've cut that down to a bit more realistic and viewable. But yeah, obviously it was a good old fight, and these fish just fight really hard, and they just do not give up. If they touch their net, they're charging out, things like that. So yeah, and it was really nice to. The German anglers to me right, they popped in because they were about to head off home, leave early, and so obviously they hung around to help out and net the fish, which obviously took a few minutes. If you're wanting to go and obviously someone's into a fish, it's obviously going to take a while, of course. But yeah, obviously over the moon to get another bite. I think it was my 12th bite of the trip, and this is eventually the 9th that I landed, all commons. But yeah, absolutely just made up with it, and I'm really looking forward to going back there next autumn 2024, and see what I can do, see if I can catch even bigger fish out there. But yeah, it was just an amazing trip really, and this was the last bite that I had for the trip.
Thank you. You're welcome. Woo. Thank you. That's good. Yeah.
this late Saturday afternoon, and we have common number 9. This was a hard fight in the margins. Really didn't want to give up. Yeah, I thought you might. Oh, 32.5 pounds. I am one happy carper. Yeah. Got it on the long rod, 25 wraps, 100 yards, 4 or 5 spoms of particles and boilies. And I just sort of put that out 2 or 3 times a day, basically. Sort of match style fishing, just little and often. That's that side. And I'll turn around, although it's a common. Yeah, so really happy that I'm starting to get things right. I think I'm going to have to return of everything that I've learnt. Oh, I've got the old dorsal flicked up there. Old angry spike. Yeah. 32.5 pound of lovely Katlov commons. Yeah. That's the third 30 and a 40 out of the 9s. That's not a bad stamp, is it? No 50 yet. That's what we're hoping for. I'm going to be praying to the carp gods tonight. Yeah. Right. And with that, adieu. Let's get you back. Right, I thought I'd just go through some of the key information about the lake, just in case for anyone who's interested. Hopefully maybe cover some bits that are not on the actual website. So to the first bit, obviously, if you're fancying driving here from Calais, you probably expect around 12 hours. Depends on traffic and roadworks and that. It could say 10.5, it could say 12, so probably set yourself out for around a 12-hour drive with a stop or 2. And it's around 700 miles, just so that's really, if you're going to drive. You could fly here, and you could hire the gear. So if you go on the website, you'll see that they've got all the big items of tackle and whatever, and they can hire, you can actually book for someone to pick you up from the airport, Prague, which is 50 miles away, about an hour's drive. So that's an option as well. If you're into that, I prefer to have all my own gear and whatever and that. I just know what I've got. It's there to hand, sort of thing. I'm not having to rely on anything and not sure about rods and line and stuff like that. So I drove here. You could obviously break it up, maybe stop in Netherlands or Germany if you want, and make it a bit more, easier to drive if you like manage and cope. So that's sort of getting here basically. There's, I think it's 17 or 18 swims, probably about 35 to 40 anglers is the maximum you could have on here. They're all doubles, a few triples. I guess it's never probably fully booked. You're probably going to be looking at maybe 10 to 20 anglers on average. Size of the lake, it's listed as 24 hectares, which is 60 acres, I guess fishable. 50-55 acres is probably more likely what you got. The swims are nicely spread out, they're all comfortable, gravel with wood chip and a bit of earth on top, so nice and easy for pegs, no hammering or anything like that. So that's good, spacious, you can get a couple of bivvies in each, hence why they're all doubles or triples. When you go on the website you can see all your sort of limits of where you can go, left and right, and your distance and stuff like that. So they've all got plenty of water. Stock wise, 500 plus, 500 to 600 carp, up to 60 odd. They don't actually list it on commons and mirrors, but I can go from the catch reports and myself how it's gone this week. I guess probably 75-80% commons, 20-25% mirrors. There is some nice mirrors, but I've not had any yet out of 5 fish, so still a day or two to go, so fingers crossed. But yeah, and it's lovely fish, hard fighting. And then the depth, it's not actually that deep. It's generally 6 to 7 foot, and then shallower in the margins and humps and bumps and whatever. But majority of the lake is around 6 to 7 foot. It's quite shallow around the jetty area where you get the boats. So bear that in mind. It's not deep enough for an outboard, or it isn't at the moment anyway. It looks like the water's down about a foot. Bear that in mind. Obviously you get a hard boat with oars. You can bring your own outboard or maybe hire one and echo and all that, but they don't provide it as part of the price as standard. So I brought my own echo and outboard and battery and that, but to be honest, I used it once to come in the swim and once on Wednesday when it was blowing a bit of a hoolie, and I'll put the marker float out and spread a little bit bait. That's the only times I've used the boat. That's it. I've stuck to casting and spomming, basically, just good old traditional fishing with a rod and line, no toys. You can use boats, bait boats. Can't use H blocks. You have to use a marker pole. But again, that's all on the website anyway. One interesting thing: if you're not too keen or sure on boats and putting all your gear in boats and stuff like that, you don't have to, or at least on the double digit swim, so 10 to 17 it is, or 10 to 18. I barrowed round twice. I took, loaded up the barrow twice and brought all the gear around into swim 13. So although they don't advertise that, but there is a gravel track around this side of the lake. I'm not sure on the opposite side, but I've heard the quad go round, so it might be possible that you can barrow on the other side as well. I'll have to have a look. But so if you're not too keen on boats, you're unsure of it, you don't have to. You could barrow around and cast out on that and just leave the boat, not even bother with one. So something else to be aware of if you're thinking of coming here. Obviously some swims are double, so the 6 swims nearest to house either side of the lake, they've got to be a double minimum, so they're sort of £600 plus for a week. And then obviously all the swims going down from that can be booked as a single angler, double or a triple, so £300 plus basically at the moment. 2023 onwards will give you an idea of the sort of cost and that. So that was, I guess, probably the main points I can think of that people would be interested of. Anything else, just put a question in the comments and stuff like that, and just ask, and I'll see if I can answer for you any queries you might have. But I think that's probably the key things to think about when you're coming here. They've got bait as well, toilets and showers, separate ones for the ladies and the gents. They've got yes, there's one other thing actually before I call it time. There is a cafe on site. They do hot food, they do drinks, alcoholic, they've got it on the board, rum, whiskey, vodka and all that, pizzas, burgers, things like that, but it's in peak season. So it's mid-October now. They were open on the Sunday when I got here. They weren't open Monday to Thursday, but they're open again today. So they're open for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I think they're getting close to sort of closing for the winter. So this might be the last weekend. So that's something else to bear in mind. If you see that they've got a cafe, or I can't remember what they list it on the website, kiosk or something like that. It's definitely peak season. So I'm guessing April, May to October. And outside of that, obviously they're probably not open, or maybe at weekends at best. So factor that in as well. Toilets and showers are lovely. There's an administration block between the kiosk and the toilets, so just knock on the door if you need anything, if you need any help or assistance or whatever. They'll help you out. They're admin block as it was. And I think it's rotated every other week. So I've got, this week is Paulina and Josef, and they've been fantastic for me, because it's been an absolute adventure, a nightmare if you like, for me. With my car breaking down, got towed away, taken to Prague, 50 miles away, and Josef very kindly gave me a lift there and back, so a 100-mile round trip for him. So thank you, Paulina and Josef, for doing that. You're absolute stars. Paulina has been doing all the translations, so the tow truck guy didn't speak very good English and he would get lost, so I had to quickly run up to the admin with my phone and give it to her so she could tell him where to go. And then when he got here, he was asking for all sorts of different things that I couldn't understand, so she could translate paperwork and things like that, driving license, that sort of thing. So yeah, invaluable. Without those two, I would have really struggled. So yeah, hopefully that's it. Like I say, just put anything in the comments, anything you know I haven't mentioned and you'd like to ask, please do so, and I'll try and help you. But yeah, this is Katlov Lakes.